It's fun.
All right, welcome to episode 5 of Behind the Hustle, the show where I interview creators, small business owners, and entrepreneurs. With that being said, I have Connor Moore over here of Activate Photography. I'll let him take the lead and give an intro. Just let everyone know what you do as a photographer.
All right, so hello world, hello internet world. I'm a photographer. I shoot a little bit of everything, but what I specialize most in is extreme sport photography. So everything from X Games to your Supercross to freestyle motocross, trophy truck racing, Baja 1000, so forth, concert work, just a little bit of everything. Photography is where I love to do and I love the passion for it.
Mm-hmm. So how long has it been total for photography?
So I would say I started like Activate Photography right outside of high school. So I would say like late 2014 or early 2015 is when I really delve into like the whole thing,
like the whole freaking shebang.
Yeah, all the money.
Did you do photography stuff like in school and all that? Or?
I took the high school photography classes, but beyond the whole what's the shutter button and how to take a photo, there's really not much.
Did you think about it at all, like when you were there, like like in the class, like this may be something that I'm interested in, or
definitely like taking photos was always super fun to me, but I really didn't have an access point to like go shoot sports all that much other than high school sports.
Okay, yeah.
Which were fun and all, but like being in the action of like off-road stuff, it's like totally different, was what really caught my eye.
So that's primarily the stuff that you do, which is like the action photography in the dirt, in the Baja races, in the dirt bike type stuff, right?
Yeah, that's probably like, I'd say 85% of it.
Okay, and now is that part, because you said you like the photography part, did you do stuff like in the desert? Did you race, or did you do that kind of stuff? Were you involved in dirt bike stuff at all prior to doing the stuff that you do now for photography?
So like I rode some trail stuff before, but I'm definitely not like, the fastest person on a dirt bike. I actually, a mom's old boyfriend who used to build trophy trucks for a living is who kind of got me into actually going to the events and like showing me like, getting more on like the back end of it to know people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Worked out.
And then, you said you still do like other stuff as far as like different types of styles of photography, but that's the main niche.
Yeah, I would say like that's basically where I'm known the most. I definitely have the biggest name built in those industries, especially motocross and supercross, and then desert motorcycle or desert off-road racing is where I'm most known. But I've covered 1 or 2 weddings, portrait shoots for a few different clients. But mainly I would say 90%, 85-90% is off-road.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what was it weird starting out? You know what I mean? Because like, I don't know if did you have like a mentor getting into the photography stuff, or were you just kind of like, you just started out and it was just you and your camera kind of thing, or?
It definitely. So, it was a really hard, I should say starting phase, because I would say most of the people in the industry are riders who have retired and then bought camera gear and so they already had all these connections already made. So me, it was like, who is this guy just kind of rolling in?
Who's the dude with his camera?
Yeah, and especially when like a lot of the pro supercross tracks are private.
Oh, okay.
So it's just this guy waving from like the side track. Like,
yeah.
Can I join?
Yeah, that's cool.
But I would say it was mainly on my own. I had some like riders that I knew, but other than that, that was about it.
Were there like weird? Like, was there weird experiences like just starting out and stuff? Like, did you kind of like have to just show up and just be like, how does that whole industry work when you're just starting out? Like, if you didn't say it was me, you know what I mean? And I was like, I wanted to do what you're doing, and then I'm like, all right, tomorrow I'm going to go to some race or whatever and like try to take their pictures.
So, how I kind of started was I definitely started out like there's a like ton of little tiny series around the area and where we, where we both live.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like motorcycle heaven.
Oh, okay.
We have 7 dirt bike tracks within an hour. So it's kind of like pretty simple to find one.
Okay.
But, those you can just show up. You should pay the fee just to get in. But, and then you just have to meet people, slowly make your connections.
Okay.
And it's a lot of sliding in the DMs of countless people.
So there's just a lot of, so it's the DM thing, a lot of the networking stuff, putting yourself out there, pretty much just being like, hey, this is what I'm about, this is what I'm doing. And then obviously doing the work, showing them what you're about. And then And then that obviously probably speaking for itself to some degree as well.
It's definitely finding your own style, because you can all shoot the same thing, especially if a lot of these tracks, it's about 5-6 jumps you can shoot, maybe a few corners. So it's finding that place or finding your way of shooting something different than the other 15 to 20 people out there with a dirt bike or with a camera.
Okay, I see.
So
that's
how you have to set yourself aside.
Figuring that out or whatever.
Exactly.
Was that part, as far as like coming to that realization, was that part easy for you? Did you like figure that out pretty soon?
So no.
Because that's really insightful.
Yeah. So
you know what I mean?
No. So I mean, like I definitely had I knew what I liked to shoot and how I like to shoot things, but like perfecting those into a certain way and to like figuring out how you want each one, because that's the thing is like I can go shoot things and have like shoot the same corner, but two photos can look nothing alike in the same exact place. So you also don't want to sit there and broaden yourself too far, because then it just gets into this. You're trying to cater to everyone. When that isn't going to end well, You
got to like focus down pretty much and be like, this is what I'm about, and then become an expert instead of like, just a jack of all trades or whatever in a sense. Yeah. Did you have any sort of like inspirations in the photography world, like going into it? Or?
Yeah. So I mean, and they still are. And then I've been lucky enough to actually become friends with a few and actually work with a few of my especially my favorite ones. The one guy named Jason Zendrowski.
Oh, okay.
He his name's High Rev Photo on Instagram and all your social medias. But it's ironic. I in high school for a senior project, I interviewed him, and then and
that's where it started.
That was pretty much my first that was the first photographer that I had met. And that was really up there and the thing. He was super nice. I emailed him for basically it was called the senior exit interview. Yeah. And I interviewed him and I email interviewed him, and the dude took the time out of his day to answer probably 15 questions, and it was
pretty cool.
Paragraph and a half for each one. So it wasn't just cool, sweet. Yeah. Thanks, kid. Get out of here. It's that dude.
He had to put effort into it and everything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And me and him are actually now pretty good friends. So that's always been really cool. And then
that's cool.
In the motocross side, Mike Emery and Ryan Swanberg are probably my two two of the photographers that they blow my mind every time they post work. I'm like, what? How did that just happen?
That's cool.
Yeah, so those are probably my biggest and then now my boss man Harlan over here, he's probably another dude that he has shown me a lot of things where to look at not just what you're photographing, but everything around what you're photographing. That was their big thing.
It's one of the mind things where you're just
oh,
whoa, dude.
I see what you mean now.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, and that's so currently that's part of essentially where you work through, right?
Yeah. So I basically work as the second lead photographer, if you would call that, for our magazine called Dirt Nation Magazine. We cover 5 or 6 different series all across the United States, from California here to events in Florida. He actually lives in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
And then we cover everything from here all the way over there. So
that's cool. That's a wide range.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So
I'm sure just being so close to the sun in that aspect, you've probably picked up a lot of insights as far as the business stuff goes too, right? Because you've been able to be close to see how that operates.
Exactly. I mean, he's been around for 15 to 20 years shooting stuff. So it's been cool to see, where he's grown such an industry. But it's awesome because me and him get to work together. As in, I have a lot of other I wouldn't call it new school thoughts of our ideas, but more of the social aspect of things, where he has some of the best person-to-person networking skills. Sure. That anyone I've ever met.
Yeah.
I give that guy props. The guy can remember names and people's faces.
Oh, that's really cool. And I'm sure, that helps for sure.
I had no idea.
Who is that?
I'm I met you yesterday. I don't know your name, dude. But so
we're so spoiled with meeting someone, and then we're okay, and then we got their socials. So we're good.
Yeah. So you do the whole behind somebody. You're do I know this guy's name?
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
But that's cool that you've been able to be at least learn a lot of the stuff just being associated with that.
Exactly.
And then you already work there. You've been working there for some time, and then like separately from that, it may cause you to maybe want to do something on your own, possibly at some point.
Definitely.
Who knows? Or just progress even more and maybe just become more involved in the company that you're in now.
Yeah.
So that's cool. It sounds like you got a lot of options as far as that. What if you could? What are your like highest ambitions for the things that you're doing now? So right now you're working Dirt Nation and you're doing that stuff right now. A solid member within that company. Do you have any desires to branch out maybe, or essentially just what's your hopes and dreams with the photography stuff?
Yeah. So I mean, right now I still work like part-time jobs and gigs other places.
Sure.
To kind of suffice like income and whatnot. January 1st of next year, I'm actually going to be going more of a full-time route with all of my photography work.
Okay.
So like on top of just doing the desert stuff, I'm really opening up to like other photography work. I tried for like to kind of niche myself into one thing when that's good and it's great to have like that name in that industry, but I'm really gonna like hop out to doing, I have booked some family portraits for the Christmas season.
Sure.
I got, 2 weddings booked for next year.
That's cool.
So it's kind of just I want to be able to have like portfolio for just about any any niche thing I need, when I can. So it's, and then I also work.
That's a good way of doing it though. Cause I mean, at least this way, if you're going and doing that, these different things, you'd really be able to find out what you really, 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 really love.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like instead of just being one thing and then, 10 years down the line, you're like, wait a minute, I don't like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's cool. You'll be able to, brush up your skills on all those different kinds of things.
Yeah. And then like, I know like when I first started shooting, portrait photography used to be like I used to hate doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I used to not want to do it at all. And like, over the past year, being able to kind of go out and like shoot more on my own, like shoot like what I want to shoot and how I want to shoot it. And just
I'm sure it's
a
difference.
It's way different. And I've actually like really, really enjoyed that route. So I'm excited to, next year to really like dive in on portrait work and even family work. And I shot this company, Shop Haven & Co. It's Destiny Cantrell and Ashley Cantrell. They're great friends of mine, but they just started their whole thing. So I shot their like clothing line last week, and it was fun. Even like my first time working with young.
Oh yeah, young little models.
Yeah, young little under 6. So it's like chasing them around to make things look, and so listen to you. So it was a lot of fun to try.
Yeah, because that's probably part of it, which. I mean, just until you said something there, I wouldn't have really thought about as far as like in the photography part. Like, there's a little bit of like, maybe not even a little bit, but a lot of bit of directing type stuff. Yeah, that you got to do. Yeah, you know what I mean. So,
and like,
I'm sure that's probably tough sometimes.
Oh yeah, and it's sometimes you don't want it as much. You want that flow of just like
the naturalness.
Yeah, you do you.
Yeah.
And it's really depending on what you're trying to get at.
I can only imagine. Have you ever run into like any awkward like things where you're like,
I mean,
do this.
Yeah, like,
and they're like, what?
It was funny. I mean, I've had someone's like, I used to work at a photo studio, and you just have parents come in, and it's like, yeah, this is weird. I don't. Yeah. No, I'm good. You're like, I just don't feel like this is where I want. Nope. I'm not.
And I can already see it too. Like where you're like, hey man, okay, like move your hand, like do this. And then it's like all like super awkward. And you're like, definitely not like that.
Yeah, we're not going to go there, man.
Yeah, definitely not like that. But let's do something else here.
Yeah, just to be able to do it however they want to do it.
Yeah.
Way better.
That's pretty funny. As far as like the different, so you have all those styles of photography and stuff that you've done. I can imagine that just being like in a studio environment and then going to like your race stuff. Those are two different worlds. I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm a natural light photographer. More so, I really like enjoying. Like I enjoy trying to find places that work with what time it is and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
I like the studio stuff, and it's great for when you're trying to shoot very particular stuff, especially for companies and whatnot. But shooting stuff just
as it is
is my favorite.
That's pretty cool.
trying to bring in elements, just like random, like, leaves or whatever.
Yeah. Because you're relying on the environment more so than just you manipulating it and all that kind of stuff with the lighting there, with other light fixtures and this and that.
Exactly.
It kind of looks weird, like just thinking about it like in that, because then you have like, say you're in the, in nature or something, and then there's all these lights and different things, what I mean?
Yeah, it just doesn't...
And it looks weird, if you're doing that from a third party, perspective.
You're just walking through and there's a dude.
You're like, what the hell? Like all these different lights.
It's
and
always so funny.
Studio things and stuff.
I have like a few reflectors, and it's great because like there's the ones you can buy online from like photo companies for, $50 to $100, like these big ones, and I use insulation board from like Lowe's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like $2.
Yeah.
And it works the same
It does the job,
way, and it's just
totally.
And it works actually really great for bikes.
Okay.
Because it's longer and you can get the whole bike instead of having to use two. So it's all uneven.
Yeah.
But it's just little things. You find out little things that you can kind of like. There's certain things you can't cheap out on, and there's some things you can definitely go the cheap route.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, instead of paying like a high price marked up on all these other accessory type things and stuff, it makes sense. What sort of, so as far as like people being able to find you like on different social media platforms and stuff like that, is it the Activate Photography is the main one?
Yeah, so Activate Photo, just because of most like Instagram and whatnot, are all they don't like the photography, it's too long.
Oh yeah.
So it's Activate Photo on most of my stuff. I got Instagram. Instagram's my most popular probably. That's why I mostly post on. But there's a new app called Dayflash.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't tried it out yet. Awesome for photographers because they let you post full page, like your whole iPhone.
Oh, okay.
And the quality
is like super awesome.
Is like
really cool.
25 times better than Instagram.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because Instagram, what happens every time you post a photo on Instagram?
Yeah.
It resizes it for you.
Sure.
So it just dumbs down the quality. And they flash widely better.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, Activate a photo across the board. Got Facebook, I got Instagram, Twitter.
Okay, and that's most of the stuff that they could find there is a combination of all the.
It can be a combination. On Instagram, there is one other page. It's more_imaging. That's gonna be solely portraits.
Oh, okay, cool.
So activated photos, because that's probably where I get a lot of my like motocross client and like business whatnot.
Sure.
So that's gonna be mostly like motocross work.
Oh,
like
okay,
90% of it.
Nice. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
So as far as, do you have any sort of other like types of business-wise, like dreams, goals, ambitions that you're gonna chase down or anything like that coming up soon? Or
I definitely really enjoy like marketing. That's what I enjoy doing. And I, some of my little part-time jobs, I've been, helpful enough to where I kind of join their marketing-ish type of team.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's definitely kind of something that I'm like into digital marketing.
Yeah.
Even like getting to know like writers and stuff like that, helping them out and things like that. That's kind of like where I want to
that'd be sweet.
Also be able to head. So kind of do more than just, because I am a photographer and I can, do a little bit of video, but definitely photography is where I'm at. But like to be able to help somebody create stuff as well, and then be able to like get the Photoshop ads together for them. Right. Kind of what I want to.
Oh yeah. I try to do and stuff. That'd be sick. Yeah, it's a crazy space, man. Just overall, all that different stuff, the creative world. There's so many different aspects of it, and it's intense, like the video editing, the photography stuff. I mean, there's so many different things, out there.
It's just crazy to like every little thing is like, it moves so fast.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a new feature, a new update, a new this or whatever, a new app,
exactly,
all that kind of stuff that you got to stay up on and all that,
I just, the only reason why, I promote that Dayflash app is just because of the quality of the photos.
Yeah,
it's
well,
so
that's
nice
and that makes sense, especially from coming from a photographer's route. You know what I mean? You guys, I would imagine you like quality, in terms of like image quality and different things like that. So of course, a platform that's gonna, help express that for you guys.
Yeah, it's
makes
definitely
sense.
super irritating when you swear it's clear on my phone.
What is going on?
It happens.
Especially, I could imagine if that was super frustrating. If you go out here, you go get the photo, you go do your post editing and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You're all, this is about to be it. Yeah. And then you post it, and then it's just like this big letdown. Cool. You're like, Lame.
I swear it is.
Yeah. That's funny.
DM you the full photo, I promise.
Yeah, exactly. Have you had any, what's your experience been with like different clients and stuff? Is it all like,
Like you definitely get, you hit your bumps in the road and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
figure
yeah.
out kind of like, I would say most of my people I've been able to have the pleasure of working with
sure.
have been great.
Yeah, I'm sure there's just like instances.
They do what they need to do, and it's one of those things too where you get those relationships where sometimes you help that person out, okay,
Right.
you don't need to pay me for
Okay,
this
yeah,
time,
yeah.
but and then like Destin, the guy I talked about, me and him we shoot a lot, but like he flew me out to X Games for a week, and it's like, all right,
That's like super crazy, dude.
Yeah.
X Games, like I remember growing up watching that. Dude.
yeah, dude, it's just
That's
crazy. It
sick.
was like to be able to like, all right, dude, for 5 days you're gonna go and fly out there. You get to hang out. You get to go check out the brand new Viking Stadium. And by the way, you're gonna have to work for 45 minutes when I do my event.
Dang.
Bummer.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah, you're like, I'm cool.
yeah,
I'm
like,
chilling.
I'll work this out with you. you
Yeah.
know? And then it's just you'll definitely have those people that do you dirty.
Sure.
It's gonna happen.
It's just probably
so
it's one of those things you gotta it's the price of doing business kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's just, you gotta
You know
find
what I
it
mean?
sooner or later, you know?
But I mean, have you ever ran into like where sometimes people talk about, because I'm still trying to do my stuff, and they're like, yeah, sometimes people will just like straight stiff you. You know what I mean?
Oh, hardcore.
You know what I mean? And you're just
Hardcore.
like,
or like they do like the can we see previews of your images, and you're like, yeah, here's a preview, and next thing you know you see them photoshopping the little square out of your preview and you're all sick. Cool.
that's not
But the
cool.
other one that's always funny to me is when you sell someone like, all right, here's your like $50 for your digital, you can use it on like your social medias.
Oh yeah.
Like I did this with a company, and a month and a half later I was driving down the 15 freeway and it was on a billboard.
What?
And I'm all tight. That was a cool sweet.
Dang.
thanks for the info that my photos were gonna be on your billboard on the freeway. Like,
Wow. That's interesting.
like, so it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I guess how you could.
You
go
kind of
and-
roll with
you
it
just
in a
gotta-
sense.
You can sit there and you can try to fight them, but there's no way. You're really
Yeah.
not going anywhere with
Price of
it,
doing
so.
business, kind
Yeah.
of just learn. You live and you learn.
You
kinda
live and you
deal.
learn. You gotta write contracts. You gotta do all your other stuff, because if not, they're gonna end up trying to figure out some way to get.
Yeah, different things and stuff
way
like
out of
that. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. I'm figuring that out too, just going through different stuff and having different conversations with different people, and yeah, be clear about what it is that you're offering,
Exactly.
and and all that kind of stuff. If not, then it was funny because I was over at someone's business the other day, and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna help you with all this stuff, and then they were like, all right, cool, can you type this email out for me? And I was like, well, yeah. And shame on me for not just like, you know what I mean? It was a little different there because I kind of know them more so personally. So I'm like, yeah, give me your keyboard, dude. I'm like, whatever. But just kind of like, I can already see like going in the future, like, no, yeah, when you go in there, it's got to be clear, established. Like, I'm this, not the other things. But like you said, sometimes using your instincts and your intuition to kind of be like, all right, yeah, like that's fine. Like, what's up? Whatever. Like, we're cool. You know what I mean? Like, we
it's
got
one
it.
of those things.
You
where
ebb and flow.
Exactly. When you have that client that's like been with you for like for a long time, and they've hooked you up with.
Oh yeah, I would.
Not only like you guys, but like, all right, I got my buddy who I'm sponsored by to like help you out. He's gonna pay for the photos that you took of me. Sweet. Like that's like those are the things where it's like it's worth it. Like it's worth not taking the pay for one shoot,
right?
If you're gonna be able to like line up.
It's the long term that ends up
for sure.
working out better. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is it ever weird, like in the photo? Like, is there like other photographer beef stuff that you gotta like avoid, or whatever? Like, you gotta be careful, like in certain situations. Like, how does that work?
There really is. And
you know what I mean?
And
like,
it's really crazy because it's hard, because. As being a photographer, your job is physical, but it's not like insanely physical. So you have a lot of people that do it for a long time. So it's hard because it's like, you have younger people that wanted to do it, And that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
You know, but then you have the people that have been around for 25 years doing it. And you're like, hey, you're great. I look up to you. But I am going to try to squeeze this out of you, just let you know. Like, I'm just going to let you know real quick that I'm going to be here. So it's this hard thing of like what line can you find where you are cool with them, but they do know that you aren't here for fun, you know? And like, that's the other big thing that's really hard right now in the photography community is where because great camera stuff is getting more and more accessible.
Yeah.
You know, back then, you know, if you were being an NFL photographer, like it was not like basically unless you were the only professional, like that was like the gear is just outrageous.
Yeah.
Which it still is for a lot of people, but I mean like
it's just getting
like,
cheaper though.
Yeah, like, you know, $4,000 compared to $10,000.
Well, I mean, and then
ago.
look at the cameras that we have here too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's just the access is there for sure.
And you have a lot of these people where like they don't want to charge.
Yeah.
They just don't care to.
Sure.
You know, it's hey, give me free tickets to whatever, and I'm gonna shoot this for you. And companies will take giving you a free shirt, giving you free tickets, over paying you cash any day of the week. So it's
funny.
a lot of like,
it's a jungle out there.
yeah, it's a jungle out there, and you have to like,
Because then
figure it
like
out.
dude that wants a t-shirt, it's like, yo, I did a free t-shirt, and then you're like, whatever cost, and then they're like, I'm gonna the t-shirt guy. Like,
yeah, the t-shirt guy. You're like,
sometimes,
all right,
you know, I'm sure maybe, but yeah, that is interesting. But I guess it's just part of the whole thing. You know what I mean? I mean,
weird.
yeah, it's good though. It's a good feeling just because like. It's just a cool setup, you know, because I mean, photography, like you said, it's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's really not going anywhere.
And it's not going to go anywhere.
Cool, yeah, there's video, obviously. But it's like, you know, you're going to still need photos.
Yeah, of course.
That's why there's directors of photography in every movie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always photos taken of almost everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not going anywhere. It's cool to like, you know, some of these people and their creativity is nuts.
Oh, yeah.
You just showed me that guy earlier on
Yeah,
TikTok.
yeah. It was
That
through
is
the
just
roof.
wild, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
understand.
I'm great with like finding things and figuring out certain areas and kind of like looking at it from afar, but it's like bringing some of those other things in to like,
yeah, to make
where I
it
gotta
to
work on,
to
you
do
know?
like the almost the abstract concept art like type of stuff where
that's where I'm difficult.
you take like a normal thing and then you just make it look so like crazy
Dude, like
and abstractly beautiful.
My boss guy, Harlan over here, him and this other photographer named Jason. His name's Jason Finmore. But their landscape stuff, like I can't do landscapes.
Yeah.
I do it. Blows my mind. Like I try, but like they look normal. And the stuff they pull out of like very normal looking stuff, it blows my mind.
You're like, what?
I'm like, cool, dude. Like
How?
that is on you guys. I cannot.
Yeah. Where did you sell your souls?
Yeah, I'm like, I
Yeah, for sure. That's cool.
tip the hat to you guys.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
So outside of photography, outside of like all business stuff, and what else has your attention these days? Like random stuff. It could be super random.
stuff.
It could be Mandalorian on Disney Plus. It could be whatever the case. What has your attention?
Dude, you know, I am a concert goer. That is my that's my thing.
Get dirty.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Just
A little concert goer guy.
concert goer guy,
Okay.
you know, gotta bring the fam,
Boom.
you know, friends and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, and go to those. You know, the new Call of Duty.
Oh yeah,
That's
true.
where I'm at, man.
Oh, so the gaming, dude, the gaming world. When are
Yeah.
you streaming?
Oh, dude, my
Throw
stream, it would be like,
Twitch at, man.
Yeah, the Twitch would be like, cool. He's at the bottom. He's gonna cuts off the TV for the next half an hour.
Yeah, that whole world
Did
is
that well.
that whole world is nuts, man.
I just watched the Dr. Disrespect video earlier today.
Oh, okay.
That was my favorite video.
He's still on Twitch, right?
He's still on Twitch. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, have you seen some of the people like migrate over to Mixer and stuff?
Dude, I've like looked at it.
Shroud.
Shroud did it.
Ninja's over. I guess there's some other people too, but I
There's
don't.
somebody on FaZe that just did it.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think someone on FaZe just did it.
Wow.
I could be wrong.
That's
Don't quote
crazy.
me on that. I was like,
Get him.
I know.
But yeah, that whole landscape that's like a whole nother freaking area, man.
Oh,
It's
yeah, dude.
freaking
The digital stuff
gnarly,
is so
dude. It's freaking gnarly. The whole concept is just insane. You know what I mean? Especially if you talk if you talk really big, broad, and like if you really, really execute on all these different platforms and really do a whole bunch of stuff, like it's insane how much opportunity there is. You know what I mean? So say for instance, like yourself, like you're doing this photography thing. You could do your normal stuff, like your normal day-to-day where you're going out doing your photos, right?
Yeah.
Boom, 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 right? Then on the side, if you have time, you can do some maybe quick instructional stuff like, on YouTube, upload that stuff. Then, fill out some affiliate links, list all your gear on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are like, oh, what gear does he have? Boom, clicks the link. Bam, you get a little side cut of the camera because someone saw that you went to X race, shot this. You know what I mean? And then now they all of a sudden have the camera, the same gear that you set up. You know what I mean? Like that's just all crazy, and that all ties in together through the whole thing. And then if you build a brand around it, like you can design your own merch. Yeah. Like there's all sorts of crazy ways.
The digital world has like created so much more stuff than anyone. I really think most people understand.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it
there's
is
such a large industry.
It ain't easy though by any shot. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But it's just the opportunity is still there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it never used to be there. You know what I mean? Which is the crazy thing. And I still think it's funny that some businesses, they just don't do it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
At all. Which I think is weird. Like it really is in this day and age, like very relevant to have like any sort of business that has a dedicated photographer. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like someone that's there, like getting new shots of their business on a weekly basis, if not more. You know what I mean? Just because, like for me, from a consumer, from a marketing point and stuff, I don't like the cheesy setup fake stuff, right? Or the stock photos or the, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. I would appreciate a business that goes in there and is capturing their real interactions with their real customers and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Granted, it all has to do with like if you can afford it and all that stuff, but still, I mean, if you're a business owner, you still have a freaking camera on your phone. You know what I mean?
I think if you guys, especially out here, and like rent for these buildings aren't cheap. Like rent for anything, you got to have some decent amount of funds
to be able to just be in business.
Yeah, and if you want to continue to make those funds, paying for that like ads every once in a while, dude, runs such a long way. Yeah,
the ads, and then just again, like what we were saying with you with the photo thing, like if there are legit businesses that do execute on YouTube and then YouTube ends up being a whole another stream of revenue for them because maybe they're making money off AdSense now.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Or whatever. And the similar thing, they could, a local business can do, make their own merch and sell it through YouTube. And you know what I mean? They can do all that other stuff too and provide instruction to their communities. Another thing, doing podcasts and stuff too. I think it would be kind of cool for certain businesses with the right setup and all that, where they can set up and maybe interview their customers or just offer different things, different insights, that would be beneficial to the customers. I think it'd be cool.
Oh, absolutely. Like I think any company, especially, you got all these older ones that don't want to, integrate and move forward when there's so many. Every company has an ability to really, do a podcast, do some type of YouTube show, do something, where they can capitalize on whatever they're trying to make.
Whatever their message is.
Whatever their story is, and it's just crazy to see so many continually go like newspaper ads and like.
Oh yeah, true. There was an interesting, like I think it was Gary Vaynerchuk. He brought up the fact that like there's a New York Times, right? Obviously, New York Times, huge. Obviously, newspaper, cool. Yeah, obviously they've been around for a long time. But he was surprised because I guess he checked. Like he remembered what the price for a full like ad in the New York Times was, I think like 6 or 8 years ago or whatever. And it was like 40 grand or something like that. Right. And then, but now today it's even more expensive for some reason, which is crazy if you think about it. You know what I mean? Just because there's so many other opportunities on the social platforms for way cheaper than 40 grand that is going to get you a lot more reach to very specific people too, because you can ultra target, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Instead of just blanketing out there. Granted, I'm sure there's still a lot of people that consume New York Times and all that, but still, like it's interesting.
short demographic wise.
Yeah.
Who reads the New York Times? Your 18
Right.
to 21 year olds are
Definitely not
reading the New York
chances
Times.
are, I'm sure there's a few of you out there, but
but
but definitely not a lot. You know what I mean? Definitely not the majority. And way more people have this, and their attention's definitely more in the phones, for sure. So that's definitely interesting. Hopefully, as time goes on, they see that benefit. You know what I mean? And then just be able to communicate the message. I found that that's just the way that I go. I like it more because I feel like it just brings more of a personal relationship with these small businesses.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I feel more comfortable with these days. And for instance, like that's what makes it me feel good about, like, say if I'm on YouTube or whatever, and I'm like supporting a YouTuber, and they have their own merch line. Yeah. It's because they're providing me the value of either information or entertainment, and then I can help support their channel by, buying a shirt, and I see exactly who it's supporting. You know what I mean? Where a similar thing, if a business goes and does that, and they're offering that personal connection through their content or whatever, people may be more opt to, return the favor and, be a customer or, support them in some other way.
Oh, definitely. So to see the amount of even some of these gigantic people, like you brought up Gary Vee earlier, but just to see how much he is able to still communicate with thousands upon thousands of people instantaneously compared to there's other companies who they can't respond to their emails. True. It's
yeah, it's nuts.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, that is a really good point.
Who's really taking who's taking control of what they're trying to do. It's the difference
for sure.
Yeah.
So towards the end here, just giving some advice of anyone that would maybe want to follow in a similar path that you are in. Just photography in general doesn't have to be. You don't have to give away your trade secrets or anything like that. But just in general, like if someone wants to be a photographer and start going out getting clients and stuff, where are some places to start, and what just some good pieces of advice? You know what I mean? So they actually go out and try it.
Yeah, it's definitely a few years year or two of really gonna make very, very little. Granted, you'll get your clients who'll pay you, but it's a lot of building your portfolio and building it through whoever.
Sure.
Like I said, I did high school classes. I did 2 college classes for it, but I learned heaps and bounds and whatever more doing it on my own. And driving, just driving to somewhere and messing with your camera, doing whatever you can. The more time you spend with your camera, the more time, more what you're gonna be able to figure out. And then go and test out different weird ways of shooting things and just
be upside down.
It's just what I found out when I do a lot of my work. Most of my bigger published work is all panning stuff. So being able to fool around and drop stuff down to whatever I want and just messing around, that's what people want, so it's don't feel as if you need to follow everything, because it's the one thing I was always told when I was just starting out was you learn your rule of thirds, you learn your shutter speed rules, all your things. Okay. You break every single one of those. When you start getting clients, you break every single one of those rules. So it's learn them, you ain't gonna follow them. So.
So it's better to just kind of get dirty in a way.
Yeah, it's better just to find out what you want to shoot and figure it out. Don't feel weird DMing whoever you need to DM.
Yeah.
And work for free for a while.
Yeah.
And just be able to build those people that you do know, and I don't mean forever.
Yeah.
But for a while.
Yeah. For some time. Yeah.
And just be able to get that name for yourself. And get on all your social medias as quick as you can
and just build it up. Be patient.
Find your, one thing I always kind of not regretted, but having your own name under it is pretty nice. Having the business name is kind of cool. Having Activate Photography was always cool. But I get the whole thing a lot of the time where it's they don't know who I am because I don't really post pictures of myself.
Oh, yeah,
and then it's oh, you're that guy. And I'm that guy.
Yo, what's up?
I'm how's it going? Now you know who I am.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm just kind of I'm the name behind the company.
So
do think about that when you're starting what you're trying to do.
I
Sometimes
see.
the name, at least for when you're starting, could be a lot more beneficial to you.
Like the actual personal name.
Your personal name.
A personal name, a face to the brand, and all that
face
kind
of
of
the brand,
stuff.
or if you're posting pictures of yourself, maybe it'll be easier. But
Yeah.
I never post pictures of myself. So.
Okay. Well, little does he know, this is being recorded. Awkward.
I think my profile picture is from like 16. So.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, that's legit, dude. That's awesome. That'd be funny if you just made it like a progressive picture, like it's like 16 and then 10 years later. 20.
Yeah, I know. It's literally like it's forever ago.
But it's like the same shirt, everything. Like that'd be funny.
I think I have it. I think I have the same one.
That's awesome. No, that is good advice. It seems like what I'm getting from it is, be humble enough to, essentially build up what you got to do. You know what I mean? But be realistic with it. Obviously, you can't do it forever. Make sure and be comfortable networking, be comfortable reaching out, and essentially just get dirty with it as far as, learn the equipment, what you said. And I totally agree with that too. As far as just like learning the equipment and stuff. And sometimes it's like, it's nerve wracking, you know what I mean? Because you're you buy this expensive piece of equipment and then you're like, all right, there's all these different things. Like maybe I should just read the thing and then go in there like really close. And it ends up just working better if you just jump into it in that way, you know what I mean? And just start doing things.
The last little, whatever you want to call it, like tidbit of advice is that you'll never like perfect photography. Like every day, every time I go shoot, I figure out something different. So So be open to whoever wants to tell you something. Don't be like, I'm learning it on my own. Yeah. So I did that for a while.
Yeah.
Like I did this whole like I know what I'm doing.
Just blinders.
Yeah,
and stuff.
like blinders. I'll figure it out. Like don't go that route because just little things.
Yeah, and that's one thing. That's just the photography aspect. Because I'm sure there's people that are like killer in just taking the photos, and then there's a whole nother game of editing.
Oh yeah,
that's like a whole nother thing.
That's a world. That's a whole, because like I said, like I do a lot of like I am into posts, but I'm not into like the crazy post.
Sure.
So it's like,
dude, and there's gnarly posts, and you're like, there's 67 layers in this thing.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
I'm like, cool, I got 2.
Yeah, you're like, what? Yeah, it's nuts.
Like even just like lately, I've been really digging into like retouching stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like, for portraits.
Yeah.
For a while, I was just like, here you go, cool, out. Later.
Yeah.
So it was like, I've been really getting into like figuring out the perfect way to like smooth out skin.
Yeah.
Away stuff, It's been fun. It's been interesting to do that type of stuff.
Yeah, and you have plenty of time to learn and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
It never gets boring, so to speak. And then there's just a lot of stuff, dude. That's super cool. I appreciate the advice. I appreciate you coming here to my house that you've been to many times before. But
as both of our girlfriends are inside.
But this time talking about what you do as a photographer and stuff, I definitely appreciate it. So that's going to be it for this episode of Behind the Hustle. If you guys liked it, make sure to like it. If you have any questions for Connor or myself, make sure to do the whole comment dance, down below and all that stuff. We'd appreciate it, and we'll reach out to you and see if we can help you out with anything. But until next time, I'll see you later. Thanks. Bye.
It's fun.